Hey, what's going on, everybody? BO44 coming at you with another video. All right, so now we're talking Celtics Bucks Game 6. And, let's get straight to the point. Jason Tatum's shot selection was what ultimately needed to improve in order for that team to really have a firm grip on that particular game. He shot only three. He missed about maybe 16 shots. I think it was 12 or 29, maybe 17 shots or something like that. And honestly, it was just a lot of straightaway jump shots from the top of the key. No shooting from the left, no shooting from the right, none of the corners, none of it. It was just him at the top of the key launching bricks from straight away, from the three, from the left angle of the elbow. That's basically what he was doing. He had three shots in the paint, none of them close enough to be a layup, really. Listen, unless he was dunking from far away. I didn't see the play, I don't know. But the point was, the points in the paint, the shots in the paint were not necessarily close layups. Maybe floaters or something, who knows. But the point was, only three shots in the paint that was accredited to have been missed. All the rest of his misses were way back. So he just needs to get it together, get in the paint a lot more, be efficient. Try other angles of shot. I've seen him hit corner shots. I've seen him hit all kinds of different angles of shots. Just give yourself more of a variety of places to attack from. And I know the Bucks are probably forcing you into these places, but it's up to you, Udoka, and all of y'all to find more angles from which he can attack. He can't be that predictable, and he can't be continuing to shoot from the same spot he's missing from. Come on. So that's part of the problem. And then another issue for them, I think, was the rebounding. The Bucks was just rebounding the ball like crazy. Bobby Portis had fresh legs because they only played him 15 minutes in the previous game, which I knew was a Bud special. I tell y'all, he always uses these weird misdirection tactics. Sometimes it'll cost him a game in the playoffs, but he ultimately ends up doing what he needs to do to get the edge in the series for it. I'm not saying he punted that game necessarily, but I am saying he didn't strategize to the best of the matchup that night so that he could save Bobby Portis for the next game, and it worked. Bobby went off, got the game-winning layup off of an offensive rebound, off a missed free throw from Giannis. And it was those fresh legs that ultimately, that decision that kept him as fresh as he was. You know what I mean? And that's the type of stuff that I would be doing with all these teams, with these big players and different players. You got to find ways to sneak a rest. And he did that with Bobby. So I think it contributed greatly to what they were able to do on the boards. You saw the resurgence of different players who on their bench who were able to kind of get it going on the road. You know what I mean? You saw good games from people like, obviously, Jalen Brown. You want to talk about Al Horford. Marcus Smart was excellent, very efficient. Two straight games where he really has played well, so that bodes well for the Celtics in this one. But, ultimately they had a 14-point lead in this game and just couldn't hold on to it because Jason Tatum wouldn't stop shooting. I mean, it wasn't just that. They had other things going on, but if you really want to talk about what it boiled down to, was just a lot of missed shots. And he was the one taking most of them. So, they got to shore that up. I want him to be more of an unpredictable attacker. More inside paint plays. Get to the line, dunk the ball a couple more times, do that thing. And less jump shots. Look, I know you're a pure jump shooter. We've seen what type of mechanics you have. We know what it is. But when it's not falling in freaking playoff game, you want to launch 29 shots, make sure that more of them are in different places. Don't just keep shooting in the same spot. Nothing is going. That is ridiculous, man. Stop that. That's because what you end up doing is making yourself predictable for the defense. You know exactly what you're going to do. So I'm willing to bet most of those shots were very highly contested. So it is what it is, man. You definitely want to see them continue to incorporate George Hill into the lineup wisely, as he has been. I've liked how he's done that. He's been careful to make sure that the Bucks are big at all times. So when he uses George Hill and he sees there's a matchup issue, he quickly gets him out of there. And I think that's the only way to play it in today's NBA. Size is truly a difference maker right now. So the Bucks have that as a luxury, and I think it's one of the reasons why they're up. I think, and I've said this, and I know it's a tough criticism, because you're asking someone who is focused on one side to do more on the other. But Grant Williams must be more than 0 for 3. You can't or I don't know if he was 0 for, I'm sorry, but I think he only attempted 3 shots. He needs to be more aggressive getting to the line. I'm not asking him to shoot too much, although I love him shooting three. He's good at it. In fact, he could be close to graded at this point. But if nothing else, I just want to see him get a couple layups, get a couple dunks, and contribute to the scoring side of the ball. I say that about all defensive players, because if you want to, and you have a defensive player, you want to leave him out there forever because he's always killing them defensively. But what you end up having is less production offensively to make up the difference on the score. So if you don't have other guys doing double time, his lack of production is not going to help you. You still need him to do that. It's almost like his defense gets canceled out by the lack of offense he provides. So that is a real thing. I'm seeing it up and down these playoffs. That's why I'm always screaming for the Max Struces, the Dylan Brookses, Bridges, and these players, including him, to contribute scoring the ball at least 10 points. If your super defensive guy can get to the line 3 times, things are fine. That's it. That's all I'm saying. Get that defensive dude to the line 3 times, you're fine. So that's all I'm saying. They want to see those guys contribute there. Peyton Pritchard has been shooting awful. Maybe they got to rub him out of this series entirely. I hate to say that. I'm a big fan of Peyton, but this is the playoffs, buddy. You can't have you missing like that. Breaking off the side of the rim, stuff like that. It can't happen. More Derek White. He's been trending upward. He's playing better and better and better and better as the series is progressing. I think it's very important that they continue to find ways of getting him involved. More shots for him, less shots for JT Money. I'm sorry, JT. We gotta scale you back. Jalen Brown, I think that his usage is good. I like him having the ball in his hands a bit more. He's a good ball handler. I saw that they were having issues, obviously, down the stretch with Marcus Smart. We can talk about how he was forcing the issue down the stretch. And, of course, the great defensive plays by Drew Holiday. Drew Holiday, LA's finest man. He was able to get 2 key steals down the stretch. A fantastic play where he stole the ball in, was falling out of bounds, threw it off of Marcus Smart. I mean, just heads up, key, game-winning, clutch defensive plays in the most important times. That's why he's an NBA champion, and he's continuing to build upon his legend as a great playoff performer. I know he's had his issues shooting the ball, and they have been substantial, but when you do stuff like that to win the game on the defensive side, you understand that there's more ways to win than just shooting well, which is another thing that we're talking about in regards to JT Money. Hey, those are possessions you lost. You're always going to do things on defense, but I think you could be more of a playmaker than you allow yourself to be. That's what I think. A couple more assists, a couple less shots. So, all in all, man, Boston Celtics and the Milwaukee Bucks have put on a fantastic series. It's been by far the best series of this round. And I don't want it to end at all. I love what Giannis is doing. 40 points in the previous game. I told y'all he was going to be more efficient. He has had his efficiency issues in this series, but he was able to make them right in the last game. I don't know if that's an outlier or if that's to be expected going forward, but him staying efficient is very key for tonight. The Bucks have a chance to close the series out in their home court. So I'd expect that with their record being as it is, winning games like this, closeout games, you would expect for them to play well. But my prediction from the beginning of this series has always been Celtics in 7, which means automatically Celtics going to win in my mind tonight. And why I think the Celtics going to win tonight is because it is. Because Grant Williams only gave them 0 for 3. Because Jason Tatum was 12 for 29. And those two things are not going to happen again. You're going to see him hit some threes, I believe. I hope he gets back to shooting threes. You're going to see Derek White continue to play well. Hopefully that translates to good plays. He can help on the playmaking side of things. More him, less JT Money, ball handling. He could be the recipient of those passes, but I just want to see him attack from different angles. I want to see him attack from the corners. Catch the corner, drive from there, get to the line, up and under, things like that. Give me more angles of attack, Jason Tatum. I cannot stress that enough. Looking at that shot chart was unbelievable to me. So that needs to happen. And if they continue to play defense the way they've been playing it, because they really have done a great job on Giannis, as said, then I think they'll have a chance to continue being competitive in this series that they've been the whole time. Brook Lopez is an important piece tonight, trying to keep him from being as imposing of a defensive presence in the paint as he has been. I think trying to get him in foul trouble is smart. Attacking him in that way, flopping off of him in that way, removing that big man from the floor does a great deal for the Boston Celtics. Getting him out of there. I'm curious to see what's going on with Time Lord, Robert Williams. I do not know what his status is for tonight, but he's extremely important. They've relied a lot on Al Horford as of late. I'm pretty sure he should be a little tired right now. Judging by his usage rate in the last couple games, I wouldn't say he's trending upward. But I do expect for him to play smart, play active, and he's going to help keep their season alive. I know he's going to have a huge impact on this evening, no question. And of course, Marcus Smart. As long as he's continuing to shoot efficiently, I think the Boston Celtics are very difficult to beat. Now, obviously, he's coming off a very tough way to losing that game, turning the ball over twice down the stretch of the basketball game. That could be soul crushing. But Marcus Smart's a very tough-minded guy. He doesn't have a conscience that pertains to missed shots. He knows what he can do defensively, and he knows that he can win games just as well as he lost out. He can do what Jrue Holiday did to him. He's more than capable of doing to Jrue Holiday. That's just the reality of it. So I expect for him to bounce back in a real way. And the best way for him to help his team is taking good, quality shots, making sure that every offensive possession is accounted for in regards to himself. Don't be jacking up bull crap. That's how you lose. You help so much on the defensive end. If you're a burden on the offensive end, you're giving all that defensive effort away. So I think he's been playing a great offensive game this week. Throughout these last couple games since shaking off his injury. And as long as he's continuing to look to facilitate, because he too can help with that along with Derek White, less JT Money holding the ball, more of them facilitating to him and Jalen Brown, I think that's a recipe for the Celtics to score better. Just score better. That's really what it is. They need to score. I want to see the Boston Celtics put up 110 points tonight or more. You got to score. So that is what I have to say. Once again, Jrue Holiday, I'm expecting him to play well, but his shooting efficiency issues are real. Even in the game that he won, he was shooting poorly. And the game before that, they lost, in my opinion, because he did what JT Money did. Shot a lot, brick more. That cannot continue, Jrue Holiday. That can't continue. Y'all barely won that game. But if you account for all those possessions that you bricked, make those possessions into something, since you guys are not boarding very well, you know what I'm saying? You're not going to control the boards. Your possessions must be accounted for. And the bricks, they cannot happen. I don't care if you have to control the clock longer. If you have to run your shot clock down like Luka Doncic does to keep from having less efficiency, then that's what it is. You're a defensive team. If you got to keep it low, keep it low. But don't let the score be low because you attempted 70 shots and only hit 28 of them. Don't let that happen. You will be going home tonight, especially on the road. So that's what it is, man. I'm excited about this series. I ain't too excited about the rest of them right now, but I am definitely excited about this one. I think it's going 7. I think the guys who are down in the series are going to win it. And, that's a tall task. Giannis is a champion. We saw great play, and we saw a heartbreaking loss from the Boston Celtics. But I'm going to stick to my pick. I'm sticking to it. I'm just going to stick with it. I don't know. It's an uphill battle. But we're going to see what happens there. My name is BDL44, and, of course, I'll get back to you guys later on these games. Thanks for watching. I'm out.